ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधा गोविंददास स्वामिने नमः। नमस्ते प्रभुपाद्य देवं गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी ग्राम्य जन्यस्थानिने। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेषाय भूतले श्रीमते गोपाल कृष्ण स्वामिने नामिने। प्रभुपादस्य साहित्याय प्रकाश्य वितिर्यच प्रचार कृत्वान् साधु भगवत्पादाय नमः। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्यत्य दिशतारिणे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जन शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतां पदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगन रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादां सहगन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। सप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jam Vishnupad Paramhans Parivraj Kacharya Ashtotar Sad Sri Srimad Abhay Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai, Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki jai, श्री वृंदावन धाम की जाए, श्री नवदीप धाम की जाए, गंगा माई की जाए, जमुना माई की जाए, तुलसी देवी की जाए, भक्ति देवी की जाए, संवेता भक्त वृंद की जाए, all glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Welcome everybody.
Hare Krishna.
All two sisters and brother are there. Very much welcome.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Your parents must be very pious people because they gave you this opportunity of associating with Bhagavad-Gita. Very good, very good. So Bhagavad-Gita is spoken by who? Ajit Bhai.
Lord Krishna, Sri
Okay.
Krishna.
Yeah, very good. So how many people are speaking in Bhagavad-Gita? How many people?
Four.
Four people.
People.
Very good. So who are those?
So Dhritarashtra and Sanjay and Krishna and Arjuna.
Very good. Very good. How many slokas were spoken by Dhritarashtra?
One or two?
No, one definite answer.
One.
Only one, the first
The
sloka.
first one.
Okay, yeah. Now, who knows that sloka without looking in the book? Padma Ben knows that. Aruni Ben knows that. Sangeeta Ben.
Yes, I know it.
Okay, speak Sangeeta. Let Sangeeta Ben speak.
धर्मक्षेत्रे श्री धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेता युयुत्सव मामका पांडवाश्चैव किम अकुर्वन्त संजय.
Very good, very good, very good. So, if you know the first sloka and now the last sloka, who knows without looking in the book?
It's similar to Manmana Bhava Madbhakto. No. No, that's the
last sloka is spoken by who?
Sanjay.
Sanjay Uvacha. Sanjay is giving conclusion of the whole Bhagavad-Gita. That this is what is my opinion. He's speaking it after listening the whole thing, narrating it to Dhritarashtra. He comes to this conclusion, and we all should come to that conclusion if we go through Bhagavad-Gita. So who knows?
Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Patrapato Dhanurdhara Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhrutu Dhruva. I forgot the last. Sorry.
Okay. Harsaben knows that.
Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara,
Partho
Tatra
Dhanurdhara.
Shri Vijayor Bhuti Dhruva Nitir Matir.
Nirdi Marti Mama. Okay. Sorry.
Bas, very simple, slow. Yatra, yatra means wherever. Hmm? And connecting word is tatra, means where, there, like that. That's how you can understand. Yatra, who is saying Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. All right. Lord Krishna's name is given there, but there is an adjective there that he is what? He is Yogeshwar. Of all yogis, he is a controller of all yogis. Ishwar means controller. He is the topmost yogi. So, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara. Parth is Arjun. And Arjun is holding what? Is he holding flute?
Oh, Dhanush Ban. Dhanush Ban.
He's Dhanush Ban. So what does that mean? Dhanush Ban means he is ready to fight.
Dhanurdhar.
Yeah, he is ready to fight. Right? So how can you apply this in your life? You and me, all right? Who are we? We are ordinary, simple persons, citizens of this country and human beings. All right. What do we do every day? We try to live by earning some money, bringing some food, and giving nutrition, maintaining our family. All right. So what are we holding in our hand?
Work and duty.
Yes. All right. In our hand, sometimes there are some degrees written that this guy is an attorney, he's a doctor, he's a businessman. All right. So those are our Dhanush Ban. All right. So are you supposed to throw away, put them down and sit and meditate? No.
No.
Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara. All right. So Tatra Vijaya. That's where now if you put yourself with Lord Krishna, right, then Vijaya, you will be victorious. Victorious in what? In whatever endeavor, enterprise you are doing, you will be victorious. Yatra Tatra Yoga Tatra Sri Vijaya Bhuti. Sri means health, beauty. Vijay means victory. And then Tatra Sri Vijay Bhuti. Dhruva Matir. There will be Dhruti. Dhruti also is, determination. And all these things will be there if you live this life with Lord Krishna in your life. This is the whole message. Sanjay's message is that don't live your life without Lord Krishna. Carry him with you everywhere. How can you carry Lord Krishna with you everywhere?
By dovetailing all our activities.
In your mind.
Yes, in the mind also.
Keep in
and
the mind
remembering him, speaking his name, telling others about Lord Krishna. All the time, Lord Krishna, Lord Krishna, Lord Krishna. That is how you can keep him with you. And you say, no, it is boring to keep like it. No, if you try, you will enjoy it. All right, like that. So this you can do by doing satsang. If you are doing satsang, then you will get this impetus of trying to live with Lord Krishna. And what is the ultimate result? Ultimate result is that you will be cured of this disease. What is the name of that disease, Padma Ben?
Bhavarog.
Bhavarog. Right? Bhavarog means this spirit soul, you and me, who are the real person, we have got the disease. This body is like COVID. We should not have gotten this body, but we have got it now. That's called Bhavarog. And what is the Ausad? The Ausad is Bhagavad-Gita, Bhagavan Krishna's Bhakti. That is the whole thing. Right? So the message of Bhagavad-Gita is this. Very good. So how many chapters are there in Bhagavad-Gita, Ajit Bhai?
18 chapters.
18 chapters. Very good. All right. So we have completed first 4 chapters. What is the name of the first chapter? English name or Sanskrit name or whatever? Aruni.
Is it Dharam Kshetra, Kurukshetra?
No. The title of the chapter.
Oh, I don't know titles.
Who knows?
Observing the
Arjun Visad Yoga. Arjun is lamenting. All right, in the first chapter, he's lamenting, he's telling Lord Krishna, although I'm a fighter and my duty is to fight and all that, but how can I kill my guru and my grandfather and my cousins? So that is lamenting. He says, this is a wrong decision I took up, like that. So that is Arjuna Visad Yoga. And all arguments he gave, what was the most important argument he gave?
He said, they're all my relatives. How can I kill them?
And if I kill them, what will happen to me?
Sin will occur.
Yeah, he says, there will be sins, like that. There are other arguments also there, but this was his main concern. All right. So Lord Krishna, in order to remove his confusion, he spoke the whole Bhagavad-Gita in nutshell, in chapter number 2. What is the name of the chapter number 2?
Bhagavad-Gita
Summary.
summarized.
Yes, it is also known as
Sankhya.
Sankhya Yoga. And Bhagavan Krishna is describing Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and
Gnana.
Gnana Yoga. All three major yogas he is discussing in nutshell. All right. After having done that, before he goes to explain further, Arjuna has to do one thing in order to now understand Bhagavad-Gita. What did he do?
Surrender to Krishna as a guru, as a shishya.
Now, since you all have done, Bhagavad-Gita before, so you should know that slok. Sangeeta Ben knows that slok.
Which one, Pankaj Bhai?
The way Arjuna surrenders to Lord Krishna.
Yes. Karpanyako pruchami tvam dharma sammodha cheta yashreyasya sthitam bruhi tanme shishyaste stvam aham
Sistateham tvam sadhimam prapanna. So Arjuna, he is now becoming his disciple. He tells Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he tells him that, you tell me, I am now completely confused. All right. So this is what is required all of us in order to understand Bhagavad-Gita. Then you'll ask, where is Bhagavad-Gita? How can I surrender to him? So where is Lord Krishna?
In our
He's
heart
everywhere.
He's everywhere, also in your heart. All right. So what should you do? You don't know anything, so you pray just like Arjuna. You pray, bow down to his picture, and tell him that, Lord Krishna, I want to surrender unto you. Please help me. So what will he do?
He will send somebody in your life.
He will send Prabhupada Maharaj. All right. Prabhupada Maharaj is not a dead person; he's a live person. All right. How is he live? In his writings. All right. When a person speaks, that's where you know that he's alive. Similarly, all his written words are actually his words. He's speaking to us. All right. So how you and me have come in contact with him? By grace of Lord Krishna. All right. So we are fortunate. We should make others also fortunate. All right. When you and me go to XYZ, doesn't matter who, and tell him to understand and surrender to Lord Krishna, this one activity is called what?
Preaching.
Preaching represents which yoga?
Bhakti Yoga.
And what else? It is also, are you going to someone and say, I'm going to tell you about Bhagavan Krishna, give me $20. Do you do it like that?
No.
So you're not going for any desire, material desire. You're going with spiritual desire, that this person, this spirit soul should also benefit. All right. So this is known as Niskam Karma Yoga. You have done some karma, approaching that. You walked, right, from one place to another to talk to that person. One day I was sitting in my car in Walmart parking near 99 store. There's a store there. So I was sitting there, and I was waiting for my wife to bring me the things. So then I saw one Indian man and his son. They were parked about 2-3 spaces away from there. Then I had my book in my car. I said, I don't know who these people are like that. All right. But faintly, I thought maybe I have seen these people like that. So I was kind of considering how to approach. Then I said, okay, let me go and talk to him. So I went to talk to him. His son was also there. And I gave him the book. I said, this man immediately recognized me and go, oh, you are there. Who was this?
You told us this before, I know. It was Mr. Paresh, right? He's the president of... Yeah.
He's a Pareshji, That's how. So this is called Niskam Karma Yoga. I'm just giving you the concrete example. Because why it's karma? Because I walked from my car to his car. That's karma. If I walked from my car to another car for getting some money, some other material thing, that cannot be called karma yoga, right? So karma yoga is something you do for the mission of Lord Krishna. You do any activity, walking even is an activity like that. But it should be niskam. Niskam means I have no material desire out of this. I just have one desire. What is that? To please the Guru. Prabhupada Maharaj. Prabhupada says, distribute my books. Bas, take this order. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Yara dekh tareka Krishna upadesh. Bas, take these two slogans in your heart and do little. It doesn't require that you have to do it on an international scale. No, sir. Little, small scale. Swalpapi dharmasya trayatam mahtava. Very little will help you so much. Like that. So this is known as Niskam Karma. That is the 3rd chapter. And the 4th chapter was, what is the name?
Adhyatmic Gnan, Transcendental Knowledge.
Yes, Transcendental Knowledge. That's what we discussed yesterday. Transcendental knowledge is not experimental knowledge. It is not material knowledge. All right? Material knowledge, you gather with your senses and then you understand, oh, this is this. But spiritual knowledge, you cannot understand with your blunt senses. That spiritual knowledge has to come from above. Starting from whom?
Bhagavan Krishna.
Bhagavan Krishna himself. Then he teaches it to Narad. Lord Narayan spoke Bhagavatam to Narayan, to Narad. And Narad taught it to Vyas. Vyas wrote all this Bhagavad-Gita, Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, everything. So there is a succession, which is known as Parampara. So this knowledge has been coming like that. In the 4th chapter, there is a slok. Who knows that slok about Parampara? Aruni knows?
No, I don't know any shlok, Guruji.
How about Sangeeta Ben? Do you know that slok? Parampara?
Evam parampara. No,
Very
I don't.
good. Yes. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarsayo vidit. All the kings previously were not bogus kings. They were rajarsis. They were rishis actually. And the king at the same time. So they were receiving knowledge like this. All right. And then what happened later? That chain was broken. Kalem nahatam yogo nastam. So that's why Lord Krishna spoke that again to Arjuna. All right. So when Lord Krishna spoke this parampara knowledge again, so Arjuna started this another parampara. And we are hearing from what exactly Arjuna heard from Lord Krishna. So Arjuna, Bhagavan Krishna said, Sa eva maya tedya yoga prakta panatan. Whatever I spoke previously, I'm going to tell you whatever was our loss. So what is the gist of that knowledge? What is the gist of knowledge? We always discuss these as some steps. Knowledge means, when you receive knowledge, means you don't have that knowledge. That's where you start receiving that knowledge. So absence of knowledge is known as Agnan. All right. So what Agnan we are all under before we study Bhagavad-Gita?
We are the body.
That's the greatest Agnan in this world. Now, does it require some verification, some experimenting that I am not this body? Does it require any kind of experimentation?
No, we all die.
We all know that I am not this body. How do we know?
When
actually.
How do we know that I am not this body?
That when we see a dead body,
Yes.
When the soul is, when the soul leaves, the body is just a dead body, dead matter.
That's it. I was 16 when I saw my father passing away. All right. That's the time, first time I realized that the person I was calling my father, all right, is different from his body. He left the body. All right. Similarly, that will happen to all of us without exception. Everyone has to vacate this body. And now, studying Bhagavad-Gita, he must start understanding that the real I is inside this body. All right. And it's not matter. It's just like you driving your car. You're not your car. All right. So this is a car actually. Bhagavan Krishna calls it a car. Car means yantra. What is that slope?
Yantra rudhani maya.
Maya.
Ramayana
Yantra.
sarvabhutani. Yantra rudhani.
So we are all yantra. We are thinking that I am this mantra. You are not. If I tell you, Ajit bhai, how are you, blue shirt? Instead of calling your name, you are wearing blue shirt. It's foolishness, right? Yeah. Similarly, all this whole world is running on this foolishness. All right. That's why it is known as what? It's known as illusion, Maya. All right. So you and me, we are not exception. But by great mercy of Prabhupada Maharaj, we are now understanding that, oh, really, I am not this body. All right. Now that is the first step. All right, from Agnan to Gnan. So transcendental knowledge is in those steps. So what is the next step? If I am not the body, what is the next step?
What am I?
I'm a spiritual soul.
I'm a spirit soul. All right. Now every one of you knows what is the size of that spirit soul. What is the size of Jidwai? Do you know the size of the spirit soul? Your real size.
1/10,000 of the tip of the hair.
This in material, physical, mathematical terms is called angstrom, 2 angstrom. All right, angstrom is a measurement unit, very minute. So that is our size. But that size is not just like a small dot. It has all the senses which we have. Actually, it is a human form, the spirit soul. All right, it has eyes, it has everything. The whole body is there. But it is spirit form. Now that, just like you and me have put on clothes, this spirit soul has put on clothes. Just because this kurta has a sleeve. Why it has a sleeve? Because I have a hand, right? So this is how we are covered with 2 bodies. One is subtle body inside, and outside is this gross. Right? So this is known as knowledge. This is transcendental knowledge. Yeah? Can any physics, chemistry book teach you this? Even anatomy, physiology book I studied in medical college, they did not teach me this. Yeah? So this is not transcendental knowledge. What is that? That I am a spirit soul. I am not this body. I am not this earth, ether, air, water, fire. I am not mind, intelligence, ego. Then who am I? Our consciousness. All right? That is the symptom of a spirit soul. As soon as that spirit soul leaves that body, the consciousness is gone from the body. Prabhupada says, if you touch someone's hair and pull it, he'll get angry. All right? But after the consciousness is gone, and if you poke even knife in his body, he will not protest. Why? The consciousness is gone. Yeah? So this is known as knowledge. First is I'm not this body. I'm a spirit soul. So what is the next question, Padmaven?
Mute.
where did I come from?
Where did I come from? If I'm a spirit soul, if I'm a body, this body, I have come from my mother. My father put and I came. My father gave me this body. But I'm a spirit soul. Where did I come from? So, what's the answer?
Part and parcel.
I am part and parcel of Lord Shri Krishna. And he says that in Bhagavad-Gita, Mama Ivanso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Right? I am eternal. Lord Krishna is also eternal. I'm not body that's going to die one day. No, the spirit soul never dies, never takes birth. It's still part and parcel of Lord Sri Krishna. All right? So this is third step of knowledge. What is the fourth step of knowledge? Unmute.
To serve Lord Krishna.
Yes. Why should I serve Lord Krishna and not my wife?
Because that's our constitutional position as human beings, as living.
That's right. That's right. A son or a daughter is supposed to serve the parents. This is normal, natural everywhere. All right. And our constitutional position is to serve Lord Krishna. Then you say, then sir, should I leave my family and not care for them? So Lord Krishna says what? No, you do all this, but keep me in the center. All right. If you keep Lord Krishna in the center and do all your duties, they are all transcendental. They're not going to bind you. That we discussed yesterday. Karma, pachi.
Vikarma.
Karma, akarma,
Karma,
vikarma.
vikarma.
Karma kand, karma yog, sakam, niskam. All this we discussed yesterday. So yesterday I told you to remember one slogan or one sentence. What was that?
Krishna is the true, absolute truth and supreme personality of Godhead, and
Yes,
he protects eternal Sanatan Dharma.
Yes, this is the whole thing. All right. If you understand that Lord Sri Krishna is absolute truth, I explained what is absolute and relative yesterday. So he is an absolute truth, but he is not Nirakara. He's a person, just like you and me. He's a person, individual person. Individual person has his desires. All right. Similarly, he has his desires. You and me have our desires. So that is a person. And number three, why does he come to this material world? So why does he come to me?
Protect the Sanatan Dharma.
And what is that Sanatan Dharma?
Eternal.
What is that Dharma?
Eternal
Dharma means
Sanatana.
activity, duty. What is that duty?
To serve our creator, the proprietor. Krishna.
Right. So Lord Krishna is, we are supposed to serve him. That is our constitutional position. Jivera Swarup hai Krishnera Nityadas. But if you understand this, you understood 70-75% of Bhagavad-Gita. And then if you apply it in your life, after understanding alone does not suffice. You have to act on that knowledge. If you have knowledge that certain stock is going to become double, triple, 10 times, 15 times, 100 times, all right? You know that certain stock in your stock exchange. And you say, this is good. But you don't invest, then what will be the reason? Zero. No. Similarly, all theoretical knowledge is of no use unless applied. All right. So you learn very little Bhagavad-Gita, very little. All right. But apply it. And now Nishuven can unmute. All right.
Yes.
So I want you to tell us the slok when you drink water.
Okay. Okay. Raso aham apso konteya prabhat
Prabhasmi Sasi Surya.
Surya. I forgot.
Who knows? Padmaben?
I also know half of it.
Half only. Pranava Sarva Vedeshu.
Vedeshu Shabda Khe Paurusham Rusham.
All right. So anyway, even
Sir.
it is said, if you know only half slok of Bhagavad Gita, what will be the result if you know half slok of Bhagavad Gita? What is the first result? Every soul, after leaves the body, he has to go to God court of justice. He has to go. Except one who has remembered half a slok of Bhagavad Gita, or even 1/4.
Yamena Charcha.
Yes, you will bypass dialogue with Yamraj. Just because you know half a slok of Bhagavad Gita. This is known as Bhagavad Gita's power. All right. So that's why we should not limit ourselves knowing only half the slok. No, more slok. Why should you know slok? To glorify Lord Krishna and to teach and preach others like that. This is called Niskam Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and you become most dear to Lord Krishna. What else do you need in this world? You don't. So this now brings us to 5th chapter. 5th chapter is titled as what?
Karma
It's
yoga.
also Karma Yoga.
Karma yoga.
Now,
Karma
but
yoga.
it is applied Karma Yoga. All right?
Karma
We
and
understood
Krishna.
everything in the third, all the details about Karma Yoga. What is karma, akarma, vikarma? What is karma kand? What is karma yoga? What is sakam karma yoga? What is niskam? All this we studied. All right. But now how to apply? All right. So that is where this chapter starts. This chapter has one central message. Okay. The message is when you meet your friends or relatives casually, what's the question you ask? If you are not seen your friends for, let's say, few months or so, what's the question you ask?
How are you?
What else? How the things going on?
Yeah.
So what will usually he say?
Well, these days they say I'm good.
I'm good and things are okay. Like in Gujarati, we say, "Su chale se." Su chale, what is happening? What is going on? And typically a Gujarati will say, "Santi se." What is that? Santi. Santi means peace. Peace is prevailing. There is no distress going on right now. So that is peace. Everyone is looking for peace actually. All right. And this chapter gives you peace formula. All right. What is that formula? We'll come to understand. But everyone is hankering for peace, but they don't know how to obtain that peace. Bhagavan Krishna will give us that formula. You and me apply in our life. Actually, we have been applying. That's why we have peace. All right. So all this will be covered in this chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, the 5th chapter. Okay, I'll refer to these guidelines and then we go from there. All right. Okay, so I'll just read this summary of 5th chapter. Okay. If you have any question, you can ask me when I'm ready. Okay, so after Arjuna has been impressed with the importance of both work and seeking knowledge, Arjuna is perplexed. All right, because Lord Krishna emphasized that you must work, which requires activity, karma. All right, and at the same time he says you need to have knowledge, which tends to be inactive. When you are acquiring knowledge, are you doing any activity except hearing? You are hearing only, right? You are not actively doing any other activity. So this is leading to confusion for Arjuna. His determination is confused and he sees fighting and knowledge as contradicted. Right? Fighting and knowledge, he thinks that these are contradicted. He says, knowledge, you don't do anything, just listen, and fighting is activity, like that. So this is his confusion. Therefore, Arjuna opens this chapter number 5 by asking Krishna to definitely explain whether the renunciation of work or work in devotion is superior. All right. So renunciation of work means you sit down, hear, get knowledge, use your intelligence, but don't do anything actively. This is what he thinks by Sankhya or Gnana Yoga. All right. And Lord Krishna is saying that you must work. How you should work, he is going to explain today. He also mentioned it in the 3rd chapter. What is that? That you should work like what? How should you work? Who knows?
With devotion.
With devotion. Bas, this is 3 words you should remember. What is that? Work with devotion. Okay, everybody clear about that? That work with devotion is far better than that Gnana Yoga. How come? What's the reason?
That's putting Sri Krishna in the middle.
And that will result into what?
No karma.
That's right. It will not bind your soul. As soon as you have brought Lord Krishna in equation, in any activity, you bring Lord Krishna, that does not bind you. On the contrary, it liberates you. Right? So these things, this concept you must remember and be able to explain to others. All right, that you are eating, that's fine. All right, there's an activity. But if you eat without offering it to Lord Krishna, then you are eating what?
Sin.
You are eating a big sin. Huh? Big sin. Why is sin to eat food without offering Lord Krishna? Why?
Because Krishna is a true.
He has given it, it is his.
That's it. All right. No man has ever produced a banana in any factory. Do you know that? Huh? They put some bananas in new houses, but they are wooden. Can you eat those? You cannot. So this is why we should be grateful to our Creator and offer him, just like a son or small child offers some food to his father. It's such a great thing. So this is the one thing we must know. Krishna answers that one who is detached from his work's results is the one who is truly renounced. Such a person knows that while the body acts, he, the soul, actually does nothing. Arjuna should therefore do his duty and steadily act for the satisfaction of Krishna. This word is also very important. What is that? Satisfaction of Lord. I mentioned one slok from Vishnu Purana, that in Varnashram Dharma, which is Sanatan Dharma, you and me, we are living in that, but whole Sanatan Dharma, Varna and Ashram, they are centralized, focused on one purpose, and that is satisfaction of Lord Krishna. It doesn't matter whether you are Vaishya, Kshatriya, Shudra, or Brahmin, doesn't matter. Or you are in Grihastha Ashram, Brahmacharya Ashram, Vanprastha Sannyas, doesn't matter. But the whole your target should be what? Satisfaction of Lord Krishna. Varnashram Vibhagasa. So,
Varnashram Acharvata
Purushen Param, Nanyatottas Karanam. So this is one thing we live our life, but our way of life is what? Whose satisfaction you and me are working currently?
Wife, husband, children.
Right. We are working for the satisfaction of all these people who are in Srimad Bhagavatam told, defined as our soldiers. Why are we? Because when I become invalid, they will help me. All right. One day, at the age of 90, 95, 97, I'll be not able to stand even if I live that long. Then all these people will come and help me, take me to bathroom, this, that. That's good. But can this save you from the clutches of death? No, they cannot. So that's why
Dehapatya
Kalatra. This Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam says all these soldiers of yours, all right, they cannot save you from death. All right. So you and me, we take shelter of Lord Krishna. Will we be saved from death?
Yes.
How?
We'll bypass Yamaraj and go to Golok if we are devoted to him.
Right. He will not give us a physical body. Right? So there will be last death of this body. After that, the body you'll get will be spiritual body. So that's how you can stop repetition of repeated birth and deaths. All right. So this is the message here. Impartially viewing the external world, one should reside in his body aloof from the bodily activities. By fixing one's consciousness on Supreme and knowing that Krishna is the true enjoyer, the goal of sacrifice and austerity, and the Lord of all planets, the pure soul will find true peace beyond this material world. So that is the message of peace formula. What is that three component? What should you know about? If you want to become peaceful in your life, know these three things. What is that?
Lord Shri Krishna is the absolute truth. And he's the supreme personality of God.
Yes,
and he comes here to protect Sanatana.
that is the other thing. But the peace formula, you should know three things.
Oh, Bhoktaram. That he is the Bhoktaram. And
He is the real
Jagat
enjoyer. All right.
yes.
He is the real enjoyer. You and me, we are trying to enjoy. Can you enjoy for continuously for all your life? Can you enjoy? For example, I like to eat this rasgulla. All right. Whenever I have chance, I eat rasgulla. But how many I can eat? How many can I eat? 1, 2,
4,
3,
5,
4,
10,
5.
12.
After that, I no more. All right. You cannot continue to enjoy. Why? Because our senses are limited. All right. So Bhagavan Krishna is the real enjoyer. In our body, who is the enjoyer? Is your hand enjoyer?
Stomach.
The stomach is the enjoyer. If you put your food in the stomach, all your body will be satisfied. Right? Because stomach will send nutrition to every other organ in the body. Similarly, Bhagavan Krishna is the root of this creation. If you pour water on that root by serving, then the whole creation will benefit, including you and your family and everyone. All right. So this is to be understood. Bhoktaram yagna tapasam sarvalok maheswara. Suhrudam sarvabhutanam. Gnatva mam santim. This is the last sloka of this chapter. All right. You should know that Lord Krishna is the owner of everything. Why is owner? Because everything comes from him. I will say that in 10th chapter. Aham sarvasya prabha. So everything belongs to him. So he is the enjoyer, not you and me. If you have your car, Mercedes-Benz or posh car, do you park it for somebody to enjoy? Okay, take it. No, it should be used for yourself. Similarly, whole creation is his. But we are foolishly thinking that there is no owner, let me enjoy. But you cannot enjoy here. All right? So this is why Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam. Sarvalok Maheswara. He is the Bhokta, enjoyer. And he is Sarvalok Maheswara. After these two things, how does it relate to you? How does he relate to you? Lord Krishna.
Surud.
He's Suhrad. He's Suhrad. He's just like your father. Does your father think that, this my son is useless now, get him out? Does your father think like that? No. What does father think about his son? He's always well-wisher. All right, that my son, let him excel me in earning money and studying and everything. All right? He wants him to be better placed than himself. So Lord Krishna also wants us like that, but we are so great fools that we don't listen to him. All right? But we are fortunate because we are studying his Bhagavad-Gita. That's how we will benefit. All right, so in the summary here, it says that in these first 5 chapters, Krishna has explained Buddhi Yoga, working with consciousness focused on Krishna without fruitive desires. That is Niskam Karma. The Lord has also explained Sankhya, Karma, and Gnana Yoga as processes to obtain liberation as stepping stones to Krishna consciousness. Our goal in this life, all right, is number 1. What is that number 1? To get rid of all the miseries in this life. All right. You and me don't want to suffer from diseases, don't want to grow old, I don't want to die. All right. Can any hospital, any scientist can give you this? Nobody can give you this. All right. So that is known as liberation. What is Sanskrit for liberation?
Mukti.
Mukti. Mukti from repeated birth and death. Birth and death. And that mukti means relief from some bandhan. What is that bandhan? What is binding you from which you want to get out of?
Family, Maya, family.
Karma bandhan.
Karma
Whatever
bandhan.
activities you have done, it has produced results. And those results could be good or bad. Right? Bad results, let's say we have not done, but we did good. But even good results, you have to come for enjoying. So what's the way out? The way out is that you don't want to get bound. How can you get out of the bound? If you involve Lord Krishna in all your activities, by saying even his name, by remembering him in any way, if you work your activities bringing Lord Krishna in that, then will not be bound. Then your question is, what about the previous activities which I did without remembering Lord Krishna? That has already bound me. So what is the answer?
He
Release
washes
us
away all previous.
Yes, he also burns off all those previous. But why? He has the power. The Supreme Court judge have that power. He don't. Only Lord Krishna has that power. That's why his name is Mukund. What is the meaning of Mukund?
Muktidata.
liberated.
Mukti
He
Dinara.
is the one who can liberate you. All right. So liberation has also so many other details which we will not discuss here. But let's go to the chapter 5. Everybody has Bhagavad-Gita, right?
Yeah.
Before going to chapter 5, I want you to open fourth chapter which we did yesterday. Okay, open the fourth chapter, Transcendental Knowledge, and go to 39th sloka. Everybody got that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll sing and you sing after me, okay? Shraddha valam labhate gnanam. Bala.
Shraddha labhate gnanam
Tat parah sanyatendriya.
tatparaha sanyate
Gnanam labdhva param santim.
gnanam labdva
param
shantim
Achirena adhigacchati. Very good. All right. So let's read the translation. Harsaben can read. You have English?
Yeah. A faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses in eligible to achieve such knowledge, and having achieved it, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace.
Right. So this is the way we can achieve the peace. Lord Krishna is saying, a faithful man who's dedicated to transcendental knowledge. Who is a faithful man? One is called faithful man who thinks that simply by acting in Krishna consciousness, he can attain the highest perfection. So ask yourself, all right, am I faithful or not? Do you have faith in this sentence by Lord Krishna? Yes.
Yes,
Right?
we do.
You should have that faith. As I mentioned to start with, that you have two qualifications to study Bhagavad-Gita. One is faith, and the other one is, who knows? Sangeeta Ben knows?
Desire.
Devotion.
No.
Jigna.
Desire.
Anasuya way.
Anasuya. Anasuya means you should not be envious of Lord Krishna. All right. These two things is very thoroughly stressed in the Bhagavad-Gita so many times by Lord Krishna himself. So that's why you can become faithful, that whatever Lord Krishna says is absolute truth, all right, and is best for my liberation. This faith is attained by discharge of devotional service and by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. What happens with this? It cleanses one's heart of all material dirt. All right. So all this thing we should do. On top of that, we should control the senses. All right. The senses, the tongue will demand so many things. All right. But you can feed all this with your tongue, but don't feed what Lord Krishna doesn't want. Lord Krishna does not want eggs, doesn't want alcohol, meat. All right, all this he doesn't want. Onion, garlic, he doesn't want. So you don't eat all this. That's called control of the senses. All right. If you are not able to do that, your process will take longer. All right. So how can you develop that control? How? By associating. All right. Just like I'm reminding you now. All right. Next time you want to eat something bad, you say, no, we discussed that it's no good. like that. So that's how by association, by helping each other, you can be able to control the senses. Got it that way? And the other method is to always pray to Lord Krishna, oh, please help me. All right, like that. So this is that sloka. Okay, so let's go to the 40th sloka. I'll tell you why I'm going to this slokas, then we'll go. Agnascha asraddhanascha sansayatma vinasyati nayam loko asti na paro. Na sukham sansayatmana. Okay, so Nishuben, do you have the book?
Yes.
Okay, please read the translation.
Okay. But ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness. They fall down. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next.
Right. Does this sloka apply to us?
No.
Why?
Because we are not
Don't have
doubting.
sunshine.
They're not
Yeah,
full
we
fledged.
have no sansai. We are fixed that whatever Bhagavan Krishna says is truth. All right. I don't require any certification that I am not this body. Why? Lord Krishna says, you are a spirit soul, part and parcel of myself. All this Lord Krishna has said, so I accept it. That's the way to get transcendental knowledge. Not that I start experimenting. Oh, in your family, somebody has died. Nobody has died. Even your grandfather, no, he has died. So you don't go researching like that. All right. You believe that everyone has to die. So that you have to accept. That's called faith. All right. Okay. Let's go to 41. Yoga sanyasta karmanam
Yoga sanyasta karmanam
gnana sanchinna sansayam
Jnanam sanchita samsayam
atmavantam na karmani
atmavantam na karmani
nibadhanti dhananjaya.
nibandhanti dhananjaya.
Okay, all right. Padma Ben can read.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. One who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his actions, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, is situated factually in the self. Thus, he is not bound by the reactions of work, O conqueror of riches.
Okay. So in this sloka, one who acts in devotional service, how? Renouncing the fruits of his action. Does Lord Krishna say renouncing all activities?
No.
What does he say? What does he say?
Fall, fruit.
Fruits.
The fall, you work. He doesn't say stop working. But Arjuna is confused here. He thinks that when he says sanyasya karmanam means leave all the activities. No. That's his confusion, which leads to the question he has in the 5th chapter. Okay. Let's see the last sloka. Tasmadagnan sambhutam
Tasmadagyan sambhutam
rutastham gnanasinatmanah
rutastham jnanasnatmanah
chitvainam sansaya yogam
chitvainam sansayam yogam
atistha uttistha bharata.
Atishta uttishta bharata.
Okay, Aruni Ben can read the translation.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. Armed with yoga, O Bharat, stand and fight.
Right. So Lord Krishna is calling this knowledge as what? This knowledge that I am spirit soul, not this body, part and parcel of Lord Krishna, eternal servant, and my duty is to serve him actively.
Most
This
confident.
knowledge. Yes. So he is calling calling this knowledge as talwar. You know what is talwar?
Yeah.
Or
Sword. So that is called vad asina. Means you be ready with this knowledge in your life. That is how you will be able to get rid of all this dehatma buddhi that I am this body. That is what he's saying here. Okay, so let's read this summary of first 6 slokas. It says in chapter 4, Lord Krishna confused Arjuna again by simultaneously stressing Gnan, that is renunciation, and karma. Arjuna begins chapter 5 by asking for clarification. All right. So Arjuna says, first you tell me to renounce work, then you will tell me to work. All right. So he thinks that renouncing work does not mean renouncing the results of the work. He thinks that stop all activity, stop fighting and go to jungle and meditate, take sannyas. This is what he's thinking. All right. So we have to be very clear. You cannot stop working. Why? Why you cannot stop working?
because
That's the nature of the soul.
Yes, the soul cannot remain without activity. It's very active all the time. So the body has also to act. But that activity you have to purify by leaving the results in your heart, in your hand. All right? So that is very important to understand. So he's asking, first you tell me to renounce work and then you tell me to work. Which one do you want me to do? So Krishna answers, renunciation of work is good and working in devotion is also good, but working in devotion is better. Now you understand? Renunciation of work is good. For example, if I give some person some money, all right, to help him, I have done some activity, right? Good activity actually. Now I stop doing that. I don't give anybody any money. Now that good result will come to me or not if I don't do it?
No.
I'll not get any result. Or if I hit somebody, all right, I have done good work or bad work?
good
I
work.
cheat somebody.
Bad.
Bad work, all right? So that bad work will bind me. Who? My spirit soul. So next life, what will happen? That person, that spirit soul will be given chance to cheat me. Yeah, we all been cheated in this life by somebody somewhere, okay, sometime. All right? Why? Because that had happened before. So that's why that person has to take body, I have to take body. But if I don't cheat somebody, will I get that bad result? I will not. So this is what Arjuna is thinking, that, let me stop working absolutely zero, become zero. That will not bind me. But that's not practical. That doesn't work because the soul is very active. All right. So really you continue working, but don't what?
फल की चिंता मत कर, कर्म किए जा.
Renunciation of work is good and working in devotion is also good, but working in devotion is better. One who works in devotion is the true sannyasi, all right? And he will easily get liberation. So this is what the message of this first 6 slokas is, right? Okay. Again, it says karma yoga and sannyas are the same because they both lead to the same goal of liberation, self-realization. However, renunciation is too difficult and very distressful. Karma yoga is better because it is easier. If I tell you that, if you want to get liberated, leave your family, man, go to Vrindavan, start chanting. Can you do that?
No.
I myself cannot do it.
No,
How can
we
I tell
cannot.
others? Right? Why? It's not practical. All right?
Mhm.
It's not practical for majority of the people. Maybe few, they can do that, but you and me, we cannot. But what is practical for us?
Just stay home, chant it, and
Work
listen,
in devotion.
pray,
All right?
bhakti,
Work in
devotion.
devotion. All right? Work in devotion is very practical. You and me can do it right now. But the result will be the same. So this is what Lord Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna. So in next section, some sloks number 7 to 12, The karma yogi performs his duty for purification, not out of attachment to the fruits of the work. He therefore attains peace. Those who are greedy for enjoyment, however, become entangled by their actions and suffering. All right. So this is what we should look for in ourselves. All right. Am I working out of no desire for fruit of work or not? We are all working for fruits of result. You and me go to job to get money, do business to get money. All right. So how can we convert that into no attachment? So you bring money, all right, then you should tell
Use
Lord
for Krishna.
yeah, okay,
Books
Lord
or
Krishna, all money belongs to you. By your grace, I have obtained this. I will use as much as I can for your service. That dissolves all your bondage. All right. This is the secret. That not that I got about $10,000. It's all mine. I'll go to vacation, enjoy, and forget about Lord Krishna. That's not the way to get out of birth and death. There are three factors in any worldly activity. All right. You and me, we do some activity. Who is the doer here? For example, you and me, we go to a grocery store and bring some food from there. So we have done some activity, right? So who started that activity?
Well, we did.
Mind and Krishna. Mind.
You are the one who started that because you had desire that let me eat some food. So you are the initiator. All right. Now that desire goes to super soul who is seated in your heart. All right. And that he finds out whether this man should eat food or not today. How does he decide that? Karmana devinetre. All right. By your stock of karma, good and bad, all right, he decides that he is eligible to get this result. So he sanctions it. All right. Sometimes you have everything, but circumstances are such that when he has rejected, you will not be able to eat food, despite all arrangements. Sometimes you are in the plane, and you are going to go somewhere. The plane develops some kind of problem, this, that, and you are parked on the runway for 10 hours. And you have got money, everything, but you don't have food. And they have run out of food too. Right? So for certain time, you will be deprived of food. All this is because of your karmic reaction. Right? But we don't see that. Right? So number one doer is yourself.
Yeah.
Number two doer is who?
Paramatma.
Paramatma. So his sanctions or rejects. All right. And number three doer is the material nature. All right. Once he sanctions, then there will be food. Annad bhavanti bhutani. Arjanyad. That grains, the rice. Who has produced this? The material nature under the direction of Lord Krishna. No human being can produce rice. Can they produce rice? No. Right? So this is the understanding. There are three doers in every activity. First is you yourself. You initiate the desire. Lord Krishna comes in picture. And then third thing is orders the material nature. Okay, let him have this. Right? So this is all based on very intricate mathematics that we must understand in this chapter. There are three factors in any worldly activity. The desire of the living entity, number one. Number two, the sanction of the super soul, Paramatma. And number three, the transformation of material nature. All right. So everybody is clear about these three doers, right? If somebody asks you, who are the doers in this world? All right. So these three are. When the living entity desires something, the super soul may then command the material nature to bring about its fulfillment. When a person understands this, he no longer thinks that I am the master or I am independent. Rather, he thinks I can only desire, and if the Lord agrees, he can fulfill my desire through material nature. All right. So if you see great Rusis and even Prabhupada Maharaj, Guru, when they ask, Maharaj, can you come over tomorrow? Yes, I will come. Then they add small close. What is that?
If
God
God
willing.
willing.
If God wishes. All right. So this is great knowledge. You and me, we desire, but we desire, say, no, I'll do it, no problem. You don't bring the Lord Krishna. All right. So if you desire, whenever you desire, you see, think that if this is sanctioned by Lord Krishna, then only I'll be able to get. So that will make you submissive to Lord Krishna, and you will pray him. And if even if it is not in your karma, if Lord Krishna is happy, satisfied, he can grant you. Like that. Because he has all the powers. Knowing these facts allows him to be detached from the fruits of his endeavors and thus effectively perform this karma yoga. Which karma yoga? This Kam karma yoga. All right? Culminating in liberation. So everybody is clear about this? Who are the doers on all activities which you do and what you should do in doing in all the activities? In doing every activity, you should think that this is how can I bring in Lord Krishna's service? All right? That is how you can do this. In the section from 18th slok number to 23, there are characteristics of enlightened, liberated karma yogi. So if you and me want to become a karma yogi, all right, what are the characteristics are described in these slokas? The liberated, enlightened soul sees everything and everyone equally. All right. Do you see all the human beings equally? We don't. You go to doctor's office. Do you see the doctor and the nurse? They are equal? No, they are different. All right. One is less qualified than the other one. That's what we see. All right. But a karma yogi will see like what? How will he see them equal?
Soul.
So,
Everybody has
So this is a spirit soul, this is also a spirit soul. And both of them are part and parcel of Lord Krishna. Then he comes out, he sees some dog there, he also sees like that. Vidya, Vinay, Sampanne, Paji.
Brahmane gavi hastini shuni chev sopaki pandita samdarshan.
Pandita, one who has knowledge, he sees spirit soul, he doesn't see the body. Right? Just now I told you that you are wearing that blue dress. Now if I identify you with your dress, it's foolishness, right? Instead of calling you Ajit Bhai, I say, oh, blue dress, how are you? This is the reason of person who has knowledge. What knowledge? That this is the spirit soul. In the dog, in the Brahmin, in the Shudra, in the dog eater, everywhere. Okay. So the liberated, enlightened soul sees everything and everyone equally because he has no attraction or aversion to matter and is thus as flawless and impartial as the Lord. Being without desire or hatred, his intelligence does not rejoice or lament. Rather, it remains sharp and fixed in the self. All right. So you and me, by developing this knowledge, should come to one stage. What is that stage? That I don't lament for anything. All right. If I lost money, okay, I was destined to lose them, so on. And then I don't lament. Then I also don't expect that, oh, the stock market has gone down, it will go up again. That's what we think. We expect like that. But the result, whatever material loss, whatever material profit you got, will it come up with you when you leave the body?
no.
It's not going. It will stay here. All the money will stay here. All the debt will stay here. All right? For your children, for whoever. You will have to go alone. All right? So this is the knowledge. Being fixed on the self, he experiences great happiness within and is therefore never attracted to temporary sense gratification, which is actually only a source of misery. So the whole gist of understanding this is start controlling your senses. All right? How can you control your senses? Because you have to use the senses. So in the second chapter, Lord Krishna gives the example of one animal. That this is how you should use your. What is that animal?
That turtle?
Turtle. Turtle can withdraw all his head inside. All right? Because head has all the senses, the eyes, nose, ears, tongue, mouth. So it can withdraw like. So you should withdraw your senses from the sense object. Then your question is, should I withdraw my tongue from all foods?
No.
No.
Yeah.
You have to utilize those senses for proper
Lord
use.
Krishna's service.
That's right. All right. So utilize your senses in the service of Lord Krishna, because he's the master of the senses. Then there will be no bondage. And then you'll get out of that. The karma yogi patiently tolerates the forces of desire and anger by focusing his happiness, activities, and goals inward and purifying his external activities by constantly working for benefit of others. All right. Try to help others. All right. If somebody is hungry, give him food. Somebody has no money, give him whatever you can give. But with what consciousness?
That this is not my money, this is Lord Krishna, and you're just being used as a conduit for him.
Right. So this is how you can convert material piety into spiritual piety. All right. And the best of all welfare activities is what?
Preaching.
Bringing him to
This preaching. All right. Preaching to XYZ. You don't have to worry about the result of my preaching. All right. You think, oh, I have been preaching for 20 years in Las Vegas, nobody's listening. No. You don't have to worry about it. Why? Because one thing is not in your hand. Whose hands it is?
Lord Krishna. Then.
Lord Krishna's hand. If somebody met you somewhere and if you give him one small book, that's the great thing which you have done. And you don't know its result. Its result is very great, but you don't realize it. Right? That's why Lord Krishna has given this promise at the end. And anyone who does my little service is very dear to me. Very little service. So why not do some little service every day for the good of others? And then the chapter ends with that formula. All right. So we will read that from the Bhagavad-Gita. This is very important diamond slope of Bhagavad-Gita. All right. 529. 5.29. Okay. Bhoktaram yagna tapasam. Bola.
Bhoktaram Jnana Tapasam
Sarvaloka Maheswaram.
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram
Suhrudam Sarvabhutanam.
Suhridam Sarvabhutanam
Gnatva Mam Santim Ruchati.
Yadvam Shantim Richyati.
All right. So what is the meaning of Bhoktaram?
The enjoyer, beneficiary.
The beneficiary. All right. And beneficiary of what?
Of all sacrifice.
Yagna tapasam. All yagnas by done anybody in this world. All tapasya, austerities by anybody. The real enjoyer is Lord Krishna. That's what he wants to say. Bhoktaram yagna tapasam. And Sarvalok Maheswaram. What is the meaning of Sarvalok Maheswaram?
The Mahesh of all the lokas.
Sarvalok Maheswaram means of all planets and demigods, Maheswaram means Supreme Lord. So he is the Supreme Lord of all the planets you see at night in the sky. So first thing he says, I am the Bhokta. I am the enjoyer of all your activities in human world. Or the whole world actually. I am the enjoyer. Just like the stomach is the enjoyer in your body. And who is the enjoyer in the tree?
The root.
The roots.
The roots and the trunk.
Roots. Yeah.
You pour water on the leaf without allowing it to fall in the roots, it will be useless, right? So put water at the root there. So similarly, Lord Krishna says, I am the root, right? in Mahabharata, there is one incident, maybe I have told you before, that Arjuna, Bhagavan Krishna, Yudhishthira, Pandavas, they were all standing even before the battle started. They were on these sides discussing something. All right? Then there was one man who came there. All right? So Lord Krishna said, "Who are you, sir?" And he says, "My mother has sent me here." That's why your mother has sent you. He says, "Go and help those people who are weaker compared to the other side." So he says, "I am asking you, which side is weaker?" So Lord Krishna says, "We are only 7 Akshohini, and the Kauravas were how many? 11.
11. Yeah.
Right? Total 18. So the Lord Krishna says, "We are weaker." Then he says, "Okay, I'll help you from my side, from my other side," like that. So Lord Krishna says, "How can you help us?" He says, "I've come with 3 arrows."
Poor thing.
So Lord Krishna says, "Only 3 arrows you can help me?" He says, "Yeah." And he says, out of 3, 1 is extra. So he broke it and threw it out in front of Lord Krishna.
Poor thing.
Wow, you are so powerful. Yes, yeah. How will you help us? Say, "Look, the first arrow I shoot in the air, okay, it will go from Brahmlok to Patalok and find out who is the cause of this war. And then I put the second one, it will finish it, that cause." So end of the story right now, here and here. So Lord Krishna said, "Wow, put the first one," he says, "and let's find out who is there." Right? So the arrow went from Brahmlok to Patalok, everywhere, and came and touched where?
Krishna's feet. Krishna's feet.
When Lord Krishna was standing, it came through the earth. So nobody knew. Right? Only Lord Krishna felt, it has come to come. So Lord Krishna was the cause of everything. He is not only cause of the war, he is the cause of all causes.
All causes. It's true.
Swara Parma Krishna.
Satchidananda Vigraha.
Satchidananda
Anadir
Vigraha.
Radir Govind. Sarva Karan Karanam. Sarva Karan.
Anadir Adir Govind, Sarva Karan Karanam.
Karanam.
Bhagavan Krishna is Sarva Karan Karanam. That's why he comes here to establish religion and remove those irreligion people. That's what we say. So this is where he told him that, "Okay, I understand now, but you do me one favor, go back where you came from and tell your mother Lord Krishna has told me to come back." So he went back. So this is to illustrate that Lord Krishna is the root
Roots.
of your life,
Karan.
my life, and everyone's life. Right?
Karan.
If you understand, this is going to give you the gist of this slok, which is the peace formula. Okay. So Bhoktaram Jagnatam Sarvalok Mahesam. On top of these 2 characteristics, Lord Krishna is such a benevolent God that he is your topmost well-wisher.
Personality.
He always thinks for your best. Then you will think, why I am suffering then? Why I am suffering diabetes? It is my best well-wisher. Why I am suffering? So you and me are suffering as long as we have avoided his advice, avoided his seva. Right? For example, the sun is giving light everywhere. Right? But if you keep yourself in closet, will the sun come and give you mercy? Light?
No.
No. So is it sun's fault or your fault?
Your fault.
Our fault. So similarly, we should become eligible and we should try to obtain Lord Krishna's mercy. His mercy is going on all the time, but we are so fools, we don't receive it. Right? So how can you say receive Lord Krishna's mercy? How? What should you do? Pray. First of all, start praying. Right? As soon as you start praying, he'll send you a guru.
Pray.
Like that. So this is how you can progress in your life. All right. So these three things, anyone understand his life, he is bound to get peace in his life. All right. If you and me are in some problem and somebody cheats you, you lose money, this, that, don't panic. All right. You know, Lord Krishna is your best well-wisher. You have faith in him. I'll tell him, Lord Krishna, I have suffered this setback. Please help me. He will help you. Right? taking shelter of the Lord Krishna does not mean that all the problems will be solved and there will be no problems coming. They will come, but Lord Krishna will rescue you, just like he did for all the Pandavas. Do you think the Pandavas had no problems? There are so many
There's
problems.
so many problems.
Lord Krishna come every time and rescued them. That he does to increase love for Lord Krishna. And that's the goal of our life, to develop love for Lord Krishna. And as I told you, this Bhagavad-Gita book is not a material book. It's a live book. You can talk to this book and he will talk to you. The book will talk to you. And you will start understanding slowly. So this is the beauty of serving Lord Krishna. Okay, so can you read the translation, Ajit Bhai?
Yeah. Uncle, when I close my book, I'll open it 1 minute.
Okay, all right.
Means full conscious.
Is it 529?
Yeah.
The last one.
Yeah.
Okay, read the translation.
Yeah. Here it is. Okay. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme Lord of all planets and demigod, and the benefactor and the well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries.
Okay, so these 3 things we must remember. One is knowing to me is the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrificing austerities, number 1. Number 2, the supreme Lord of all planets and demigods. And number 3, the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, all right, including ourselves. All right. If you remember these 3 things and remind yourself every day, how can you remind? By reciting this slok. You should recite this slok every day. Then you will attain peace. All right. In every circumstance, you will experience peace. All right. So this is the gist of doing this Bhagavad-Gita. I'll quickly read this purport by Srila Prabhupada because it is so important in understanding this Bhagavad-Gita, and then we can stop. All right, so Srila Prabhupada ki jai, he says, the conditioned souls within the clutches of illusory energy are all anxious to attain peace in the material world, but they do not know the formula for peace, which is explained in this part of Bhagavad-Gita. The greatest peace formula is simply this: Lord Krishna is the beneficiary for all human activities. Man should offer everything to the transcendental service of the Lord because he is the proprietor for all planets and the demigods thereon. No one is greater than he is the greatest of all demigods, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. In Vedas, the Supreme Lord is described as Tam Iswaranam Parabam Maheswaram. Under the spell of illusion, living entities are trying to be lords of all they survey, but actually they are dominated by the material energy of the Lord. The Lord is the master of material nature, and conditioned souls are under the stringent rules of material nature. Unless one understands these bare facts, it is not possible to achieve peace in this world, either individually or collectively. This is the sense of Krishna consciousness. Lord Krishna is the supreme predominator, and all living entities, including the great demigods, are his subordinates. One can attain perfect peace only in complete Krishna consciousness. So this 5th chapter is a practical explanation of Krishna consciousness, generally known as Karma Yoga. The question of material speculation as to how Karma Yoga can give liberation is answered here. To work in Krishna consciousness is to work with the complete knowledge of the Lord as the predominator. Such work is not different from transcendental knowledge. Direct Krishna consciousness is called Bhakti Yoga, and Gnana Yoga is a path leading to Bhakti Yoga. Krishna consciousness means to work in full knowledge of one's relationship with Lord, with the Supreme Absolute, and the perfection of this consciousness is full knowledge of Krishna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A pure soul is the eternal servant of God as his fragmental part and parcel. He comes into contact with Maya or illusion due to the desire to lord it over Maya. and that is the cause of his many sufferings. As long as he is in contact with matter, he has to execute work in terms of material necessities. Krishna consciousness, however, brings one into spiritual life, even while one is within this jurisdiction of matter. For it is an arousing of spiritual existence by practice in the material world. The more one is advanced, the more he is freed from the clutches of matter. The Lord is not partial towards anyone. Everything depends on one's practical performance of duties in Krishna consciousness, which helps one control the senses in every respect and conquer the influence of desire and anger. And one who stands fast in Krishna consciousness, controlling the above mentioned passions, remains factually in the transcendental stage or Brahma Nirvana. The Eightfold Yoga mysticism is automatically practiced in Krishna consciousness because the ultimate purpose is served. There is a gradual process of elevation in the practice of yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. But these only preface perfection by devotional service, which alone can award peace to the human being. It is the highest perfection of life. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purpose to the 5th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad-Gita as it is, in the matter of karma yoga or action, Krishna consciousness. So everybody is understanding the message of this Bhagavad-Gita 5th chapter. Do your activities, all right? Don't stop doing your activities. There are 3 activities even sannyasis have to do. What are those? In the 18th chapter, Bhagavan Krishna has said that even a sannyasi has to do dan, tapasya, yagna. These 3 things everybody has to do. What yagna you and me can do every day?
Yes, Sankirtan Yagna.
Sankirtan yagna. Just you, your wife, children, family members, chant together in front of Lord Krishna. Put a ghee lamp. Bas. You've done the yagna. Tapasya, what is the tapasya you can do? Don't do all those things which are prohibited. That is great tapasya. Do not drink alcohol is a great tapasya in Kali Yuga. Do not eat all these eggs and meat is also great tapasya. So, yagna, dan, and tapasya. These 3 things we should do every day as much as we can. Yagna, the Sankirtan yagna. Chanting is yagna. Dan, give some dan. Dan not does it only mean money. You can do Gnan Dan. Right? Give some information about Krishna to others. There's Gnan Dan. Gnan Dan tapasya. So this is how we should dedicate our life. The time is left short for everyone. All right. Everyone is proceeding every day. Ayur harti vaipunsam udan yannasav. The sun from west, east to west cuts off one day of your life. It's gone. It can never be returned. All right. So Jiva Jago, Gaura Chandra. Please wake up and start doing some work for Lord Krishna. Start doing some bhakti. And that is where you guarantee your liberation in this lifetime. All right. The more you do, the faster Lord Krishna takes you out. Okay. All right. So we have taken good amount of time today. But we'll do the 6th chapter tomorrow, which is about
So tomorrow we have a class, no?
Oh, tomorrow is Sunday, right?
No, Saturday.
Oh, Saturday.
Saturday. So Saturday we'll still have the
6th chapter.
Okay, and then Sunday in the temple?
Yeah, Sunday in the temple.
Okay. Thank you.
So that's how we can complete this course. All right.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Thank you for
Hare
coming
Krishna.
and tell others
Thank
to
you.
join on Zoom.
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vansha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyasya patitanam
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare